Hello, everybody. Welcome to Attention Deficit Discourse. This is episode 6. I am Kevin.
And I'm Rey.
And today, Rey has a pretty funny or interesting question that we can discuss today.
Yeah. So this came to me the other day because I was watching TikToks, of course.
Yeah,
And
she's a TikTok head. Is that what you call it, a TikTok addict?
no.
TikToker?
You just call them Gen Zs. They're addicted to TikTok. And weirdly enough, I was watching it trying to fall asleep because I had been reading a book, and then after that, I was like, "Let me just try to fall asleep." The book's not putting me to sleep.
Hold on, let me interrupt you right there for a bit because this is pretty interesting. I thought that you can't fall asleep while doom scrolling because the dopamine's always
light.
hitting you, right? And the blue light too, and the dopamine rush, and you're always flicking through it. And when you fall asleep, do you drop the phone right in your face and ship a tooth?
On me and my cat.
Your cat's laying next to you watching videos too?
Unfortunately, I've dropped it on his. Dropped it on his little stomach before, and then he just goes.
Whoa!
And then he turns and looks at me, and I'm like,
question.
I'm so sorry.
How can you drop a phone on your cat's stomach?
Because he lays on me, like he'll lay back behind my head, kind of, or he'll lay like with his body
up on your head,
or he'll lay like with his head in my neck, and then the rest of his body here, and I'll have my arm to the side instead of directly
picturing,
above me.
When you go on an airplane, and people have the neck pillows. I'm picturing the neck pillow of the cat.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, so
no.
Comfortable.
Usually he's like a little baby, like kind of in my arms, but I'll try to use my phone and then drop it on him or myself.
You're talking about the same cat because you have two cats.
Yeah, our little one, she likes to sleep on our feet or on the little cat bed that we have next to our bed. And then my older one, he likes to sleep in our arms. So, yeah.
So only one of them is affectionate.
Yeah, she's like affectionate, but once you start giving her affection, she runs away. That's just how cats are. But anyways.
And she's still affectionate even after you assaulted her with your heavy iPhone 15
No, it wasn't her.
Mega
It wasn't her.
Plus phone.
It was the older one, but he is fine. Yeah. It doesn't fall on him hard, like from afar.
Okay. But you got the phone case with the spikes, the metal spikes and everything? And...
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay. Incur maximum damage.
No, but I was reading a book and it was very action-packed. And I was like, man, I can't fall asleep because I'm just going to keep reading. I was like, okay, let me start, scrolling a little bit on TikTok. And I came across videos which I find satisfying, but I know people find them disgusting. And that's
cleaning videos.
Pimple
time-lapse
popping.
Cleaning videos.
Either like pimple popping or extracting ingrown toenails or extracting ingrown hairs.
That pimple popping YouTube
Dr. Pimple Popper?
dermatologist?
Yeah.
Oh, you know about her. You've been following her. Okay. I only heard of her. Not talking about personal experience right here. But anyways, proceed.
Yeah, so that is something I was thinking about. If I could do any job and money didn't matter, that's one job. I mean, of course, money would matter in that job because they get paid a lot. But that's a job I would want to do because it's so satisfying. Have you watched those videos? I know people think they're gross, but I think they're very satisfying.
So you would want to pop other people's pimples? That is
dermatologists. Dermatologists are some of the higher paid doctors.
Do you think the dermatologist would have a face mask on?
Okay.
Because
another
what
gross
if you pop
episode
one and it splatters on your eyes, like get into your eye? What would you call that? You say, "Oh, I got
biohazardous
pimple pus in my eyes." Like, what do you call that? You call that pimple ooze?
Yeah, like a
pimple jelly.
Ew.
I don't know. What's the term for it? I mean, you watched enough videos.
I think it's pus, right?
I don't know if it's pus. Pus sounds like infections.
I don't know. Sebum? I don't know.
That could, yeah.
Sebum,
I think there are multiple terms for that.
Yeah. Well, I would probably wear a mask, but she sometimes doesn't even wear gloves. I would wear gloves.
Does he even wear a face mask? No gloves?
No gloves, no face mask. She just straight goes
She's probably talking at the same time and she pops one and goes into her mouth.
Oh, Kevin.
Some nutty overtones. And, this is a little sour than other patients. I think you should get that checked out.
This is the second time that you've talked about tasting some bodily fluid. Last time it was the poop. This time it's the pimple. Disgusting.
I've been skewed by my childhood experiences of watching all of those Chinese movies, the old school one where they see a trail of blood and a guy would just come over there, puts his finger on the blood and taste it on his tongue, and he would nod his head, yeah, this is a blood trail, all right.
That's gross.
So
you could just sniff
that's the first thing I would do as a detective. I would just taste it.
That's so good that you're a scientist. You know that? That's like the number one.
This is how I became a scientist. Tasted
Fun
all the
fact,
chemicals
everyone who's listening, he was our safety officer in the lab. And here he is saying, if it's unknown, you should probably just taste it, double check, see what it is.
That is how I did things. And whenever I fainted, everyone would know around me not to taste it as well.
Oh my gosh, one time I made gas in the lab on accident. And I freaked out because
you
I was
you ate a burrito and you let loose a loud sound and
I accidentally mixed ethanol and bleach, and then
made ammonium.
Yeah, I made ammonia gas. Yep, and then it mixed, changed color, started immediately. I freaked out. I pushed it down the sink. I turned
it down the sink. How'd you push the fumes down the sink?
No, the liquid that I mixed.
Okay.
And then I turned on the sink, and then I ran around the lab to see if anybody was in there. To tell them, no, I was by myself. And then I went to my desk, and I took out my phone, and I was like, am I going to die?
Oh, that's crazy. I ever tell you the story that my little bro and I did something similar in college? We were both working in the same lab.
You can tell the story. The people haven't heard it.
Oh, yeah. I can totally tell it, but it was just me and my little bro in this lab. Nobody else was in the whole lab. And we were responsible for getting rid of this giant jar of powder acrylamide. So acrylamide, if you don't know, is a really potent neurotoxin. But one way that you can dispose of acrylamide safely is you do something called polymerization. So all it does is links together all of these acrylamide molecules to form this gel-like structure. And once they're polymerized, the acrylamide is no longer toxic. So we had the bright idea that, hey, let's get rid of this giant jar of acrylamide by polymerizing the whole thing. And to polymerize acrylamide, you just have to add water, some salt, and what's called a nucleator. And the nucleator is what starts off the chain reaction. And so we just eyeballed everything, but normally you have to do this entire reaction in a very controlled method, and you're only ever polymerizing maybe 10 to 20 milliliters of this stuff at a time total. But here we were just eyeballing it, and we figured, it'll be like 4 or 5 gallons of this stuff. And we thought that we were being wise about it, so we put like tertiary containers around this entire reaction. We put the whole reaction inside a giant glass beaker. We put the whole glass beaker in this big plastic bucket, and then we put that giant plastic bucket into another bucket, and then we filled the whole thing with ice because we kind of figured that this is going to be an exothermic reaction. But because we eyeballed everything, we added everything together, and we had to hold the nucleator. It's this chemical called T-Med. It smells really nasty, by the way.
Smells like fish.
Yeah, it smells like fish. And we just pour it. So we stirred everything around, and this is the last reagent you have to add. And we pour it in, and the moment we poured it in, the entire cauldron of this nasty stuff started literally bubbling, violently bubbling, and you can see all of this smoke coming out, emanating from the whole beaker. My bro and I just were in shock. We didn't know that this was going to be so rapid that we both ran around the lab, opened all of the windows as we were holding our breath, and we ran out the lab, we locked the door, and we just had like a 4-hour lunch break. And when we came back, we made sure we crept up to the open windows very slowly, taking occasional sniffs to see if we could still smell anything. We got back into the lab. The entire glass beaker completely shattered, and it was overflowing with this acrylamide gel. And so basically it was so exothermic, it blew up the beaker. It created so much heat that the heat differential between the reaction and the ice surrounding the beaker caused the glass to lose its stability. It's just shattered. So that was crazy. So I think that was scarier than you making your ammonia gas.
Did anyone in your lab ever find out about this?
No, we cleaned house. Nobody ever knew. So it was just
Didn't you say
between me
you
and my
put up
bro
a sign too? That way people wouldn't go into the lab during that 4 hours?
But we were vague about it. We just wrote "Do not enter," and we drew this giant skull and bone.
What if they went in because they thought it was like? What if it was around October?
No,
they thought somebody was putting up little Halloween decor.
Danger. Oh no, it was definitely not Halloween, and I don't think anyone did trick or treating in that laboratory facility. And also, we had the keys to the lab, so we locked it. And I think we were the only one with the keys, so we knew.
What about everybody else that needed to work that day, or was it like a weekend or something?
Funny enough, we had 2 bosses, and both of them were not around that day, thankfully. So maybe that's why we were doing the cleanup, because they weren't there to manage us, and they just said, "Hey, clean up the lab, get rid of all of these chemicals," and that's what we did.
Did you guys do that? Did you guys not measure it because you were lazy or because you wanted to see what would happen?
We were lazy and we wanted to be really quick about it. I mean, it was a lot of acrylamide, and we were going to do the calculations of molarity and figure out how many mils of water and T-med and ammonium persulfate to add. Nobody got time for that. We were just trying to get to lunch. It was like 11:45. And we were just getting ready to eat. So we just tossed everything, used a giant wooden spoon to mix everything, and yeah.
I cannot believe that.
Nobody died. Nothing happened.
Crazy.
It was great. We got rid of the chemicals.
It's probably a lot
story.
Worse accidents in chemistry labs than biology labs.
I had some funny ones in grad school at Cornell. You know, when you're making these giant quantities of protein, you have these giant flasks, and there were the giant flasks like the I can't remember, 6 or 8 liters. They looked like Erlenmeyer flasks, but they were 6 or 8 liters. And this one postdoc in another lab was holding one, and this flask must have been compromised because it just shattered. The neck broke, but he didn't realize that it was breaking, but he tried to catch it as it was falling down, and he cuts his entire hand, the palm of his hand, open with this like 4 or 5 inch gouge, and with blood everywhere mixed with the bacterial slurry, the E. coli that he was growing. And his other lab mate had to take him to the hospital. That's was pretty crazy.
I think I started a fire. I told you this story before. I was making LB plates, and we had to make everything ourselves because it was a school, so you can't just buy everything ready to go. And then they had taught me how to make them. I was taking over. I was expanding my repertoire of skills. So I began doing another job on top of the job I had already been doing so that I could get more hours, you know. And then, so I was making LB plates, and they told me before they left me by myself, okay, don't start a fire, all right? And I'm like, yes. And then there were papers, since there's shelves. How do I describe this for people? There's shelves in the lab. And there was a
shelf
paper
full of flammable stuff all around you.
Of, you know, reagents and other stuff. And then there was a couple protocols hanging down that were taped to those shelves. And so I'm going up with a Bunsen burner up my stack of LB plates to pop all the bubbles. And I didn't notice that as I was going up, I had touched the paper with the Bunsen burner. And then I look up and there's a fire.
So you caught it immediately?
I smacked the paper with my hand and started blowing at it, and the postdoc who had told me, okay, don't start a fire, and before she left me, she yells from her bench, I smell something. And then I'm like freaking out because I mean, you know me, I'm so anxious all the time. So the first time I thought I was going to get fired was because my water was contaminated. But this time I was sure I was going to get fired. I was like, oh man, I just started a freaking fire in the lab. I smacked the paper, blew it out. She came over and she's like staring and she's like, oh. And then my actual boss, the postdoc I worked directly under, came over and she just went, huh, it's funny. And then she walked away.
Oh.
And my heart was racing because I thought I was going to get in a lot more trouble than I did. They were just kind of like, just be careful, okay? And that was it. And then my boss was like, oh, it's fine. And she's like, it's not fine. She could have started a fire. And she's like, no, it's fine. And that was it. But I was so afraid of getting in trouble. And then other times, there was nothing like really crazy that happened. There's one time we were in the vivarium working with the mice. And my boss was pregnant, and those mice, the ones with, what did they have? Oh man, I forgot I think they were for Alzheimer's research or something. I'm trying to remember, or maybe cancer research. And they, for whatever reason, were so aggressive and they were so strong. I swear to God, they were doing...
Mice?
Yes, they were doing like
Really?
pull-ups and sit-ups and stuff, training for the next time they see me because,
They
oh
had
my
like
God.
13-pack abs and...
Yeah, they were so buff. They weren't
You ever
like
had a
physically
cartoon
buff.
growing up, Mighty Mouse?
I feel like I've heard of that.
It's like mice that look like Superman, but it's just mice.
That was them.
Called Mighty Mouse.
They were
Yeah.
for sure
So you had Mighty
training
Mouse.
in there like crazy because
Lifting weights with the barbells and everything.
no, you know how
I don't
there's
know what
like
kind of lab that is,
there's
but-
like their food goes into like those little like, what is it? It looks like this. It's like not a crate. I'm trying to think of the word.
Oh, bowl.
And it's like a bowl, but it's a metal bowl that has like gaps in it, you know?
Oh, kind of like a colander, and you can
Yes, kind
eat
of.
food through the holes.
Yep. Like they'll hang upside down and like eat the food.
And
But
as
I
they're hanging
swear
upside
they're
down,
like
their
doing
pull-ups as
sit-ups.
well.
Yes, for
They're doing
sure.
pull-ups or-
Absolutely. Because when we went, we would open their cage. They would fly out. They would jump out. They jumped so high that they could jump out. And one time, one of them jumped out and then was about to jump off the table. And my boss stuck her stomach out and caught it. So it was, baby to baby catching the mouse. It was crazy.
On her stomach?
Yeah, she caught it on her stomach, on her baby bump.
What?
Because we were wearing little gowns, right? We have to wear these disposable gowns every single time we go to the vivarium. So it's like it's like mesh kind of. So it was able to like put its little claws into her gown and hang out, and then she lifted it off her stomach and put it back in the cage. And then another time I was training a grad student on how to do what I did. That way, if there were days when I like couldn't come into the lab, he could do something himself if he needed to. And so I was training him, and those same freaking mice that were so strong jumped out and then jumped onto the floor. And you would think because it just
how
fell.
high was this? Like 4 or 5 feet up?
Yes, you would think because it just fell from like 100 mouse stories that it would have been like dazed. Nope. Fell down, took off, and that room we shared with other people. So we were so worried that someone was going to open the door and then pew, mouse was going to take off.
Oh,
and
so you caught this mouse.
we were trying to. I was like, watch the door. And we're like trying to catch the mouse. But the thing about those rooms in the vivarium is that the wall and the floor, it's curved together. So it's not like a corner. It's curved. So the mouse is like doing parkour, like skating around the room. Like we're trying to trap it with the cages
Is
to
there
get
a
it
reason
in
why
a...
the flooring's curved like that?
No
So you
idea.
can flush it or something? Like
I
with
have...
water?
Oh, that makes sense. I have no idea though.
So you
But
want to desanitize it, you just spray the whole thing with
that would
bleach.
make sense. Yeah, no, it was
10% bleach.
curved. So the mouse is literally like, pew, like going up and around the sides and stuff. And we're trying to catch
like
it.
Tony Hawk mice. Like
Yeah.
doing a little
And
ramp.
then we were joking around, one of the grad students that I was friends with, we were joking around that if you were to listen really, really closely, you could hear the mouse going, parkour, parkour. It took us like 20 minutes to catch it.
20
And
minutes?
we were so sweaty afterwards and so tired. And we walked back kind of in silence because we were just like, had a hit workout. That little thing was fast and it was so hard to catch it. Like there were times where we would just kind of stop and we were like,
worried about it biting you when catching it?
a little, but then I was also worried about it getting out. I think that would get us in so much more trouble.
I would have been like, I'd be the person to hold the door shut so nobody can open it, and the other person had to catch the mouse.
We were trying to do everything, but it's hard because other racks of mice and their cages are there. So we're like having to kind of move stuff, but things are also plugged into like their water sources, right? So it was just so hard to get that mouse. It was a pain. And it was, like I said, it was training day for that mouse. So he had stamina. He ran like 1,000 little mouse miles. He was fit. Crazy. Yeah. No other crazy stories though, luckily.
Okay, that sounds pretty tame.
I'll tell them about you though. Kevin. I love to tell these stories because I think that's so funny. Kevin was our safety officer. And one time I was walking past him and we had a sharps container. And it was like a big sharps container. How many feet do you think? Like 2 feet maybe?
It's like the same size as one of the giant outdoors trash bins, right? It's like one of those giant bins.
It's like 2 feet. 3 feet? 2 feet? I don't know how much that is. Anyways, but I walk by and he's all the way in there with his arm. His arm is all the way inside of the sharps bin. And I turned and I looked at him and I was like, safety officer. And then he's like, oh, hey, you know, it's a bad day when your buddies got their arm in the sharps bin.
Like my whole upper body was in it, right?
Yeah.
I was like that, what do you call that green guy that's in the trash can on Sesame Street? I literally like that guy.
Oh, I forgot his name. I know who you're talking about though. Yep, he was like that. But you didn't look worried that anyone would see you. And then there was another time where he threw his gel into that sharps bin. And I was like, hey, you're not supposed to throw it in there. And he said, oh.
Maybe there was a piece of sharps in the middle of that gel.
Stop lying.
And I had to,
lies. And then I said, you're not supposed to do that. And then he said, oh, I better get a jump on that. I'm going to take a picture and send it out to everyone and say, hey, who's putting gels in the sharps bins?
That's the best way to deny responsibility.
Mm-hmm. Friendly reminder. No gels in the sharps bins.
So anyways, you got this idea from this book that you saw.
No, wait. Hello?
I mean, I'm tracking back to the original.
This is prompt. Men don't listen, as you can tell. I said I was watching TikTok, trying to fall asleep, and I came across pimple popping videos.
Okay, pimple popping, okay. And that's something that you would want to do if you can get any job.
Yeah, I like what we do. I like what we do as well, but I feel like aside from that, I would want to do a pimple popper, or I would like to be a wildlife photographer. That'd be cool.
But going back to pimple popping, that can't be the actual professional.
They're dermatologists.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't want to do the actual dermatology stuff. You just want to pop pimples. You just want to be the technician, right?
I don't know what they do. No, I don't know if she's a doctor. I'm pretty sure Sandra Lee, I think that's her name, is a doctor.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it would be cool to do that. I don't know. Then you have to everybody else, all the other dermatology stuff. People, just take Accutane, okay?
No.
Drink water, meditate, okay? And hopefully
you're
it'll go
probably
away.
only watching the pimple popping videos, but then she's got to deal with all of the nasty skin lesions and contagious skin diseases and ringworm diseases and fungal diseases, all the nasty skin diseases that she doesn't glamorize on her YouTube channel.
You're right.
You know what I mean? But you'd have to deal with that. So if you're a dermatologist, you have to deal with all of the gnarly eczema, psoriasis, all of the crazy, scabby, flaky, scaly skin diseases out there. And there's a lot. You should Google it. Google the flaky, scaly skin diseases. Google Elephant Man. You ever see Elephant Man?
Yeah.
That's crazy looking.
I'll be part-time dermatology. Call me when the pimples are arrived.
Only when the pimples are there?
Call me when they got the pimples.
Disgusting.
They make a lot of money. It'd be perfect. Just part-time job.
That's just disgusting, though. I don't understand.
No one said you have to stand there with your mouth and eyes open, ready to catch anything.
Well, you have a face mask? But if you're working in her office and the main dermatologist is not wearing gloves and she's looking at you and you put on gloves, that will make her look bad. So if she had the expectation that you should not wear gloves as well, would you be comfortable still doing it?
It's against my religion to not wear gloves and a mask and goggles.
Yeah. What religion is that?
You're not allowed to ask that, doctor.
Okay.
Respectfully, I'm sorry. Respectfully. Please don't fire me. Yeah, how about you? Do you have any random jobs that you would want to do?
I mean, I don't know what kind of question is that. You mean like other jobs that you see?
Any job that you would want to do. If money didn't matter, if there were no obstacles, if there was nothing to hold you back.
But you're still doing it for money.
Okay, Kevin.
I want to do a job where I can fail, but I still get congratulated, promoted all the time.
Politician. You'd have to be a politician.
Yeah, politician.
Ugh, don't do that. Gross.
Any executive or any company out there.
Yeah. No, don't be
fail
a
up.
villain.
That's what you call it. Failing up. I want to fail up.
No.
That'd be fun, right? You don't have to worry about anything. Don't need to worry about your performance.
You need to worry about walking out on the street.
But
We're
I would take on jobs that
they're gonna run up on you.
I would just take fun jobs. I don't know, like hobbies. Be a fishing guide, dog walker. Right?
No more 9 to 5.
That could still be 9 to 5. I don't mind doing all of that 9 to 5. Right? That'd be the dream. Doing anything you're passionate about.
I could picture you being like a sports commentator, but then also you get distracted.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good job. Sports commentator. That's true. Like, what if you're? Yeah.
Oh no! Look at that guy! Look at him! He's tasting the grass. Oh, I wonder what it tastes like. Nom, nom, nom. Oh, look the dirt.
A sticker on his shoe. Yeah. Oh, he fell on the floor. I wonder how nasty that sweat tasted like. Salty. Oh gosh, disgusting. Oh, that football player just face planted into the turf, artificial turf. Does it taste like rubber or plastic?
Probably rubber.
You think? I don't know.
I think so.
There's quite a bit of plastic in that, in AstroTurf. I think it tastes like plastic, right?
I don't know. I thought it would taste like turf.
No.
I don't know.
I mean, whatever tastes like turf would taste like grass and dirt. But there is no grass and dirt on artificial turf. It's just plastic.
I don't know what it would taste like. Yeah, I feel like it would taste like rubber. It looks like rubber. Plastic. I think that's why. It looks like rubber to me.
You never had a artificial turf in high school, or you ever stepped on one ever? My son's high school. One of my son's high school has artificial turf.
Oh wait, on the
like the football field.
I think so. I'm not sure actually.
A lot of homes in California have artificial turf. Where you can tell they're totally fake, but you never need to irrigate them. You never need to mow them. You don't need to worry about gophers coming through them because it's not real.
Oh. Gophers. Does Oreo ever bring you gophers as a little treat?
No.
It's a little midday snack.
But you know, on sometimes I think one vole one time drowned in our pool.
What is that?
Vole kind of looks like a gopher.
Vole? I've never heard of that. How do you spell that?
VOLE. You never heard of a vole?
Oopsies. I googled someone else. It's a man.
Yeah, a vole kind of looks like...
Oh, it's kind of cute. I think it's cuter than a gopher. Gophers look disgusting. They look mutated.
Yeah.
Look up a gopher. Yuck.
So a vole kind of looks like a large rat, basically. But
look up a gopher. They're so ugly. Ew, their teeth are so yellow and gross. Yuck. Ugh. Dentist immediately. That's what happens when you don't floss, children.
So anyways, yeah, it was in the pool, and I had to fish it out with the net.
Ooh.
Yeah. a lot of crazy stuff.
You went to show Oreo how to do it. You jumped in the pool, you swam over, you put it in your mouth, and you swam back and you plopped it in front of him.
No, Oreo's really scared of water.
What do you mean you wish?
I would, because I would love for him
put
to
it in your
jump into
mouth.
the pool.
You would jump in and put it in your mouth to show him how to do it.
I wouldn't go that far, but
you just said I wish when I said
I would jump into the pool hoping that he would chase after me, but he doesn't jump into the pool. He's really scared of water.
Oh, I thought you were saying you wish that you could show him how to do it like that. I was like, man, you do like putting weird stuff in your mouth.
Yeah, but he does live to chase after cats and birds and squirrels, especially.
So what other
sure
jobs?
Your cat does. Your cats love to chase after birds too, right?
They don't chase after them, but we have the windows open, and sometimes I get worried that they're gonna smash straight into the screen door because they'll kind of wind up like they're ready to attack, and I'm like, oh man. But they're smarter than that. They know not to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, back to your question. I think any kind of commentary job is pretty nice and chill, I think. Especially if it's overseeing something that you enjoy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Being like a video game commentator or sports commentator, like you mentioned, that'd be pretty fun. And any sport that actively engages you or interests you, I think.
Did you play sports?
In high school, just like swimming and water polo. I wasn't very good at either of them. So, yeah. You did hip hop dancing, right?
I did dance and I did cross country.
Oh, I didn't know you did cross country.
Yeah,
you didn't
cross
enjoy
country. It's like it was fun, but it was also back to our conversation from last week. It would always make me scared because people would talk about peeing themselves during a race, and I was like, I don't want to pee myself during a race. A lot of runners do that. They pee or they poop during races. I have no idea.
Just go before you gotta go.
Because
like before the race starts.
I don't know.
Or don't chug that much water.
Nah, you gotta chug that much.
That
It's
bean
so hot in
burrito during the middle of the
SoCal.
race.
You know what's crazy that you say that is I used to be a little hot Cheeto girl, you know, like Mexican.
You
hot
ate
Cheeto
it while
girl.
during the
I
cross
would
country event.
Eat hot Cheetos with lime and chamoy during my like third or fourth period class before meets sometimes. It's crazy.
Okay. I thought you were gonna say
I
during
think
the
about-
actual race.
No.
That'd be next level. Like you have a fanny pack and you reach into it while you're running and you're pulling out the Cheetos as you're running.
To fuel me, to refuel me.
Yeah, to fuel you. You're flaming hot Cheetos.
No, during the race, it sucks because you're so thirsty and you look around and all the people cheering you on have waters in their hands to drink for themselves and you're like, get out of my
where'd they
face.
get water from? They
brought
it with
them. They brought them, yeah. It's like all the
You
families
gotta carry
and
it the whole
stuff.
time you're running.
No. I'm saying like the families that are cheering you on the sides of the course. Like people's families, they'll be standing there cheering you on, and then you just look at their water bottle in their hand, and you're like, "Get out of my freaking sight, you sicko! Advertising your water to me like that. I have 2 more miles."
Cheating, right? They
What do you
should
mean?
have like a water booth where everyone can get water, not just.
No, well, because
only
it's
the
not that long
family.
of a race. It's like 3 miles, so it's not
That's
that
not
long.
cross country, man. Isn't that track and field?
No, I think 3 miles. I was on JV, so I wasn't running anything crazy, luckily. But yeah, what do you want us to be running? We were high schoolers. We freaking military person. You think you should be running 10 miles?
I thought they run 10 miles and stuff like that.
Are you serious? Almost
That's
a
what I
half
always
marathon?
thought. I don't know.
No.
And like with terrain too, right? With slopes and everything,
We would,
outdoors
yeah. The
and
terrain was horrible. It was
in the
outdoors.
mountains or something.
Yeah, it was. It was very hilly. The hills were very steep, and my high school where we would practice and train, the neighborhood next to it has a lot of hills, and it's super hot over there, right? Like it's.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think they have a limit to when they can't let us run anymore. They're not allowed to. But my coach would always push it, and it was close to like whatever the temperature was that he's not allowed to, like 88 degrees Fahrenheit or something like that. And there was a joke that one time this kid, when they were on that run, because it was so hot and because the run was so long, that he saw a zebra, and he told everyone that someone had a zebra in their yard over there. And then that was always the joke. So they would call it the zebra run because of that. Mm-hmm. And I remember running, looking around, and I was like, man, people lie. And I'm thirsty and I'm tired. I was like, oh, it was hard. It sucked. It was good though. Like after a while, when you start to get better, it becomes fun. But in the beginning, man. And I remember some of my friends were in cross country too, and they saw me and they're like, is that her? And I'm like, yes. They're like, what? You're coming to join cross country? And I was like, you know what? Just because they made fun of me, I'm going to do cross country even harder. I'm going to go hard on this JV team. Yeah.
Going back to the original question, can you imagine being a color commentator or a technical commentator for cross country? Can't imagine that kind of job. That is something I would not want to color commentate. Oh, look at that person, still running, still got 2 feet moving along.
Push, little Timmy, push, get it,
still breathing.
Go. Outrunner.
Look at that arm swing. Look at the angle of those elbows. Such excellent technique.
Yeah,
the stride. I don't even know.
It'd be more fun. I think soccer ones that I've seen are pretty funny. I saw one where this guy kicked the goal in, and the commentator said something like, and goal. Look at him kicking that in, flying into the air like a beautiful butterfly.
That's very descriptive. Mm-hmm. But they're usually technical, right? Like, oh, that's a beautiful cross from so-and-so. Forward. Into the striker's legs, right through 2 defenders. Blah,
but it would be more. It would be more entertaining if you were to talk like you do and come up with
like
your
Shakespeare?
Creative things to say. What?
Like throwing some poetry in there.
Were you ever in theater?
In college.
Oh,
I took
really?
like 1 quarter of acting because at UCSD you had to take those electives, right?
Yeah.
And they were broad, and I just remember I had my scheduling only allowed me to take like an introduction to acting or something like that. So I took that. That was pretty fun. I aced it, so that's what made me even happier. It was fun, yeah. I liked it. We just had like you had pages to memorize, and you had to memorize the script, and you had to act it out. Mm-hmm. Really fun. And the teacher, he wasn't even a professor. You know how you had sections? Mm-hmm. He was our section, what do you call it, graduate TA, leading it. And I remember we had to act out like in the woods for one of the scenes. Mm-hmm. That was pretty fun, yeah. And there was another time where we were able to like write our own script and act it out. That was also pretty fun.
I wanted to do theater in college, but I couldn't because I had a lab class. I had a lab class that ended like right at the same time as that one. And yeah, she told us if we were late, then our grade would drop by a letter grade. And I'm like, there's no reason I should be getting a B in acting, but it's fine. I was the director. Did you know? I was talking about this with my friend the other day. I had I had so many parking tickets from UCSD because sometimes.
Yeah, how? How is that even possible?
Because I would drive to school and then, you can't be late to your lab classes or else they lock you out, and then that's considered.
They lock you out? That's pretty harsh.
Yeah, you can't be late. They lock you out, and then if you miss a lab class, it's an automatic fail. So then.
One? Really? I didn't remember it being that strict. That's crazy.
It was super, super strict. And then I would take me and all my friends to school, and I would drop them off, and I would go look for... Can I get some
more details on this lab class? Does the lab class start at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon? For you, that'd be even more hilarious. But if it started at like 8 in the morning, I can give you a little more benefit of doubt.
I think it was a little later in the day, and that's fine. No, because the thing is, even at 8 o'clock in the morning, all of the parking spots were taken already because they oversold parking permits. So more people had parking permits than there were parking spots for students. So I would show up, there would be no parking spots, and I would be like, I
You know,
cannot be late to my
that's
class.
wild for me to even contemplate because I've never seen it where there were no parking spots.
But you're
I just
like,
don't know.
this was back in the day when you were in like, I don't know, the year
those parking lots were huge,
1900.
though.
No, they're filled with student parking and staff parking as well.
So what were you supposed to do when all of the parking lots are filled?
You're supposed to try a different parking lot or just wait until someone comes and leaves their parking spot.
So there are parking lots with empty spots.
You can drive around to them, but most of the time I would get lucky or I had to wait until someone was leaving and I would ask them where they're parked and if I could follow them to their car.
You would follow the people leaving the shuttle to the car?
Leaving, like coming into the parking garage. So anyways, I would be running late for my class and I was like, oh man, I can't be late. So then I was the director for theater that day and I would park in their spot and I was like, all right, we'll see what happens. And sometimes I would get back and I didn't have a ticket, but I have probably a minimum of 20 tickets from UCSD and I could probably prove it somehow, like if I were to pull up my little records, because I was getting
each ticket like $80 or something.
It's like $60. Yeah. I was getting so many tickets. There was one time where I was getting a ticket every day or almost every day. And I was like, okay, maybe if I leave my ticket there in my windshield, they'll think they already gave me a ticket, right?
Oh, yeah.
Didn't work. They stacked it right on top. I was like,
Did they give you extra ticket for faking
trying to deceive that? No. But I know he knew what my car looked like. 'Cause it was ugly. It was ugly.
How about you put 2 tickets on your windshield and then they won't, not 1, but 2.
He would have said, I don't care. 3 tickets, girl. No, yeah, I'm pretty sure they knew who I was. So yeah, a lot of the times
I was a regular right now.
I was the director or whatever other senior position parking spot I could find open. I was like, I'm so sorry, you're going to have to park on the street because I need to get to my lab class or else I'm going to fail. Yeah. That's the closest to theater I got at UCSD.
Yeah, stealing the identity of the actual director.
Manifesting.
But it never happened. I only got 1 ticket. I was trying to return a book to the Geisel library. And I wanted to park in the meter spots, right? And none of the meter spots were available. And this was one of those books where you check out for, 2 hours or something? But the minute that it's late, you incur a fee, and I didn't want to incur the fee, so I just parked it and just let it run, and I ran in and just dropped the book off and ran back, and it was no more than like 3 minutes, 180 seconds, and there was a ticket on my windshield already. I was like,
that's crazy.
Dang it. And one time I totally screwed up at Cornell. I parked, so in Ithaca, it snows a lot, and I parked in the back of a building where I worked, and it snowed so much you couldn't even see the curb very well because the snow was just covering everything.
Your video keeps freezing.
Oh, it's fine for me. I think maybe it's your connection. Okay.
My connection is perfect.
Oh, my connection perfect. But anyways, back to my story. I was parking and it was snowed out. You can't even see the curb, and you can't even see the parking sign because the snow drift just covered all the signs. And I parked at this one spot I thought was legit, but it turns out it wasn't. I left it there all day, and it was actually a 20-minute loading zone, and I got a ticket for that.
Oh, man. Ithaca sounds so fancy. It sounds like people are like, Daddy, I want a pony. Is it like that?
No, it wasn't.
No.
Yeah.
Sounds rich. Ithaca. Where are you from? I'm from the land of Ithaca, where we ride our horses to the castle.
It's a typical rural town, like population like 80,000 during the school season, but during summer, the population plummets to like, I don't know, 20, 30, 40,000, 20,000. Really quiet. Summers were nice over there.
Yeah. Okay. I'm out
You
of
gotta
stuff to
get
talk
out.
about. It's your turn to take over. You're business casual Kevin again. We gotta get lab Kevin out again. You're very calm today. What'd you do? Go take a shot, Kevin. It's shot o'clock.
Shot o'clock. That's like every o'clock for me.
He's
No,
business
no.
casual Kevin,
But
everyone.
what else would you do? What else would you do if you didn't have to work? You were super wealthy, and all you had to think of was things to do to bide your time, fill up your empty
I told
time.
you I think that I wanted to be an
Aside from
actress.
popping pimples.
Excuse me?
Pimping popples. Yeah.
Not pimping people. Yeah, I wanted to be an actor or something along those lines of an entertainer. So I used
But
to go
you
to
never
LA
did.
to
Quit
audition.
it. Oh, you did? Okay,
Yeah,
but this is high school, right?
this high school.
Okay.
But it's not like there's anything in San Diego or anything in the Bay Area for me to try. So I'm just kind of like, eh. That's like an LA thing for sure. But it was hard. It's so hard. You're just this
What were you
rejection after
auditioning for?
rejection. Commercials. And
Oh,
then
which
I had
commercial?
no idea. They don't tell you. They
Oh,
just
but you
have
can even
you.
tell by like the lines or
They give you a script for a different product to read,
oh,
to hear how
secret.
you would read it. So I want to say,
Maybe it's closely related.
I'm trying to think of what drink it was.
Oh, it's a drink. So do you have to hold the
I
actual
don't
drink
remember.
or
No. You just read the
imitate it?
script.
Okay.
You just read the script. And then there was another one that I wanted to do. They wanted me to be a hair model, but they wanted to cut my hair to be like around, where my chin ends. And I was like, nope, I got called Dora. My parents took me to Mexico. They chopped off all my hair. I freaking cried the whole time. And then when they brought me back to America, everybody's like, oh my gosh, they look like Dora to me and my little sister. And I was like, never again. Y'all are racist, first of all, because we do not look like Dora. It's just because we're Mexican. And they would always be like, they look like Dora, they look like Dora. And then even at school too. And I was just like, oh, never again. But yeah. And then my sister, my older sister that we don't get along with, I wanted her to get bullied. She was evil. So one day we were outside of a hair salon. My mom went inside to ask how much the haircuts would be. And she was just being mean to me and my little sister. So I took my gum out and I threw it in her hair. And it didn't even land that
Oh.
high up. So I was upset. Bad aim on my part. It landed like kind of down here. And then my mom came back and she's like, Mom, she put gum in my hair. And I was like, she's going to get it cut anyways. It's fine. I got in trouble, of course, because, not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
Stupid
Oh man,
rules.
that's very disrespectful. Wow.
Goodbye. I don't want to hear it, Mr. Bomb in the lab.
Bomb in the lab where
Mr.
nobody was
Neurotoxin in the lab.
Very safe. Very
And
safe.
don't even let
We
the
follow safety
neurotoxin.
procedures. We evacuated the whole lab. We opened all the windows so no
I
one
just
would
put gum
get
in her hair.
poisoned.
You released a toxin into the freaking air in a public space.
It was gum that could have landed in her eye, in her eyelashes.
That's fine.
Could've
They
been
grow
really
back.
traumatic.
Hair grows back. It's
Could've-
okay. She'll survive. And if not, she has a great essay for college. Every trauma you can turn into a college essay. Methinks.
I'm pretty sure she wrote an essay on trauma about gum thrown in her hair. She would get flat out rejected from the community college even.
No, then she could,
the-
if she was really good, she could write an essay about how gum formula needs to be changed so that if it does get in your hair, it doesn't get stuck. And that's why she wants to be a chemist. Boom. Ooh, look at me.
That is okay. Okay, but what if she never wanted to go into chemistry? That'd be a terrible way.
She needs to tell me what else I can throw in her hair to help her write her essay.
She wants to be an actress, so you throw a whole script at her face.
I'll cut her hair myself. That way she can fall to the ground, look up at the sky while it's raining and scream, why? Why? As she's crying. That's really good. You know what? Write that down. I got you. If you have any college questions, you let me know. I'm ready.
She's actually still in college right now at this moment, your sister. Oh
No,
no, she
this is my older
recently
sister.
graduated.
My older
Okay, your
sister's the one we
older
put
one,
the.
okay.
I would never do this to my precious little sister. I love her too much.
Okay. Just I thought what you were talking about your younger sister. This whole
Never.
time.
No, that's
Okay.
my little sweet angel. I would never do that to her.
You would just close the door on her when she's getting attacked by a feral mouse in the hallway.
I think you're misconstruing that a little bit. I feel like
Yeah,
maybe
you would leave
didn't
her
even
out for
know.
the alien mouse attacking, nibbling on her feet, and you would
I-
leave her out to be eaten by the mouse.
I don't think you heard that story correctly. I definitely was a victim in that story as well.
Yeah, you heard.
That's funny. You have any other crazy story? You didn't really tell me anything. You said you would be a dog walker. You said you
Yeah,
would.
dog walker, fishing.
What else?
I don't know. Because it's different. I think the question would be if you had to find another job, like actually work,
No.
realistically.
With no money limitations or like anything random that you feel
How about
like.
we change the question? Let's say that
right.
we both had to move to Montana in the rural town, population of 2,000. What will you do?
We can't move to Montana, Kevin. We're gonna get hate crime. We're
Yeah.
both-
Now what are you gonna do? Are you gonna and you got to make a living.
Ugh, I
And
don't
Andrew
know.
is demanding that you cook him a meal. You got to bring home the bacon.
Absolutely not.
See, I could be a fishing guide. I can be camping guide, dog walker. Still,
You really like dogs.
high school teacher.
For
Started
biology?
business. Yeah, sure. Anything. Math. Even
Oh,
easier.
math?
Math is easier. You just write on a chalkboard, on a
Ugh,
projector.
I hate
computer.
chalkboards. Does it make you feel weird? Like
You do
the chalk?
biology. You got to use a lot of props. You got to, I don't know, do dissections and I don't want to deal with that.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, right. More
Kind of
work.
cool. No?
You got to clean up afterwards. You got to stay longer after school, after class ends. Can't just leave earlier.
But then you could just you could just pick up your
Right?
kids right
Let's set
after. Well, you start early, so you end at like what, 3:00? You end your day at 3:00, 4:00 latest.
Mm-hmm.
Not so
Yeah,
bad.
so what would you do aside from working
That's
at a
it.
salon chewing gum? No, what would you do in Montana?
Kill myself? I can't live there. Are you kidding me?
What would you do for a living? Aside from
And-
taking your
And
own
my
life.
living. I don't know. I know there's like glaciers over there. It'd be cool to, I don't know, some sort of naturey thing, I guess, as well.
So be
Work in the
like
parks. Work as a park ranger. Ooh,
a park
that'd be
ranger.
cool.
No, you can't do that right now. Just current administration, they all got laid off. So you got to pick another thing.
I don't even know what's in Montana. I don't
Dog
know. I
walker.
guess
Cat
unfortunately,
walker.
I don't want to
Cat
be a
sitter.
dog
I want to be
walker.
a cat sitter.
Cats are harder because dogs, they just like you no matter what. You know, they're like, they have no
I want to be an
standards.
influencer.
They have no standards. Oh, yeah,
Influencer from
influencer.
Montana.
Sure.
About the outdoors.
Why not? You know, they get paid so well. I was talking about this with Andrew. I hate when I see TikTokers who are like,
But you're on
guys.
TikTok every day.
that felt a little charged.
You hate watching TikTokers, but you're on TikTok.
No.
every day.
Well, because sometimes you see cute, like, cat videos or something. But I hate when there's TikTokers who are like, oh, guys, we have such a stressful day today. First, I have to get my nails done, and then I have to get my hair done, and then I have to go get a matcha, and then I need to go to Target, and then I need to start packing for my trip to Turks and Caicos.
But don't you have the ability to flick
Yeah.
through it
Yeah,
within
yeah.
2 seconds?
But it's just-
you said quite a bit right there. Like you actually
That's
listened
because
and watched.
There
it.
was one TikToker
Yeah, she
who
had a cat next to her, and you were staring at the cat.
She
and
got
she
dragged
misdirected your attention.
to smithereens because
Mm-hmm.
she was sitting eating Chipotle,
Mm-hmm.
talking about how people don't understand how hard it is to be an influencer, that she had
Oh, no.
meetings
First world
all the
problems?
way. Mm-hmm. She had meetings all the way till 12, and then after that she had to film for 6 hours, and then she has to edit. And she just finished working, and it's 5:21 p.m. right now. Try being an influencer for a day. I dare you. You can't do it. And everybody was like, "Oh, girl."
Yeah. What were the comments like?
They chewed her up and spit her out. Oh my gosh.
Do you contribute to the comment as well?
No, I don't comment. Or I'll comment if it's like a cute video. But if it's like to talk about her, nah. That's what my friends are for. We gossip. We're like, you see that stupid video? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I always like when people are what? Isn't that a kind of a form of humble bragging?
It sounded genuine. She sounded like genuinely exasperated, but hopefully that was a reality check for her, that she doesn't have to wake up, get ready, go to work.
She didn't respond to all of the comments or have a follow-up video?
I don't think so. But even if you do, people don't like the apologies. They always pick those apart too. So there's kind of no winning no matter what.
What would be the best course of action then?
Most people...
If you were in her shoes, what would you do?
Most people just kind of ignore it. Like, I'll see people who... Someone will be complaining about whatever, and they just keep making videos and ignore it, and eventually people forget, and they move on.
Time is the best healer in that regard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What else? Let's see. You're too calm today. How do we get you hyper again?
Well, that was I don't know. I think we answered that question pretty thoroughly. I don't know. There's not much else you can add to it aside from doing what you like, what you enjoy.
Let's see. Would you love Her Highness if she was a worm?
She was a worm? That is...
It's a yes or no. You're taking too long.
This is... No, I need to know more, because how do I know that she turned into a worm?
In front of your eyes, she has just changed into a worm.
But...
Now she's on the ground. And you can hear a microscopic voice.
Okay.
Help me, help me. Pick me up.
So she can still talk. Okay.
Maybe not. She's a worm.
Okay, so she's a legit worm.
Yeah, she can't talk now. But you just watched her morph into a worm right now.
Okay, so I know that she's the worm because she just morphed into a worm. I would obviously grab the worm, maybe keep it moist, right? Like, I mean, that more worms. Give her a big pot of nice moist soil, put her in there, and then I'll immediately go out and seek all of the crazies out for help, like all the psychics, the doctor, the scientists, and
you wouldn't be afraid that they're gonna think you're weird for being like, "Hey, my partner just turned into a worm. Help me."
Yeah, I would be afraid of that. So I would see if I can get. Were there any eyewitnesses? Did I have any indoor video cameras?
Nope. Only your eyes.
So if she turned into a worm, I can maybe swab her and get some DNA testing. The DNA results still going to come back, and is it going to be worm DNA or is it going to be human? Would I be able to prove that this worm is a special worm?
Do you love her?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, sure. Maybe
you would take care of her?
Think that maybe she'll turn back to a human from
and
a
if
worm.
There's nothing, if she doesn't turn back into a human.
But how would I know? I'd just have to wait, right? I'd be taking care of that worm. You just feel
it in your soul.
I would just take care of that worm, yeah.
Okay, what if
right?
she's not going to turn back into a person?
Well, I wouldn't know because I just be taking care of that worm every day.
The fairy
how would I know, though? So a worm fairy comes over and said, "This is not going to turn back." That's the evil fairy.
Yep. What do you do?
Beat that fairy up. I beat that fairy up.
And now you have no one who could ever change her back from a worm into a person because you just beat them up.
Let me rewind. I'll ask this fairy what I can do to turn the worm back into a human.
And they say nothing. Nothing at all.
You know, I watched enough Disney movies. What if I pick up the worm and kiss it?
Oh, You
I had to kiss on.
touching
I'll
stuff
kiss
to
the
your
worm
lips.
on. Yeah, I do. I taste it too. It tastes like dirt. I have to kiss both ends of the worm because I don't know what's the front, right?
You're
I don't
sick
wanna be
in the
kissing
head. It's
Like
disgusting.
kiss both ends of the worm, like
As
doing
soon as
this,
you're
like,
able
oh,
to-
just stop going in my nose. Ah, no, here we go.
As soon as you get health insurance, seek help.
So
Disgusting.
kissing the worm will fix the problem, and then
No, it
happy
won't.
ending.
No.
Happy ending.
What if it doesn't?
Yeah.
And she stays a worm.
Then I'll
And your
just have
kids
to
walk
keep
into your
flying.
room to say good morning and they see you kissing a worm.
I would tell the kids that, and I think the kids will believe me.
So
Yeah,
you would
they
love
would.
her, even if there's no guarantee of her turning back into a person.
Pretty much, yeah. But then something special about that worm, right? Because that worm would have come from a human, so I would get tested.
You would
go
experiment on
I would go
her?
to all of the worm experts. No, not get her experimented on, but have the worm experts tell me what's different about this worm, because this worm clearly had different origins. So I try to figure it out.
What if
And
when
I
they
bring her
trace
back.
back the origins, it looks like it's just an ordinary worm to them?
It's not possible because I just saw with my own eyes how this worm came to be,
Prove it.
right?
Where's the fairy you beat up? Dead. Now no one will believe you. Boom.
If I got in a fight with that
Psychiatric
fairy,
hospital.
I checked my fingernail to get that DNA sampled out of my nail. They get that fairy DNA
It
sampled.
faded away with the fairy, like in what is it?
Pixie dust.
Infinity War, Avengers Infinity War, where they all turned to dust. Boom, gone.
Okay, so
Nothing.
what would you do if Andrew turned into a worm? No, because it's too similar. I'm gonna say he turned into a millipede.
Yuck! I'm
The
putting
one
him
with the
to
legs?
a death immediately.
You
Goodbye,
would stomp
sir.
on him
You've lived a life.
immediately, like
Not immediately, but say goodbye.
Bye. He's squirming around. He's even like curling his body to like signal you in letters, like help me.
Why does he have to turn into a millipede? But Her
worm
Highness
then.
can be
Okay,
a worm.
Sure, I mean millipede
Okay.
can be in the dirt too.
Now that-
Okay, but worm then.
Okay, now
But
that he's
a
a worm,
too.
I will put him outside on a sunny day. Say goodbye. And go back inside.
On a hot pavement,
Yeah.
right where the birds are.
Let him get his last suntan forever. Yeah, I know.
So cruel.
He's not gonna know
He's
he's a
gonna have-
worm. He's just a worm brain. Worms for brain.
He's gonna have to listen to this, and he's gonna have to reconsider his recent marriage to you. And
Yeah, that's true. Because he told me if I was
What
a
a-
worm, he would put me in his pocket and I'd be his lucky worm.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Just in the pocket, dry pocket with all the lint.
Yeah.
Totally be dead in no time.
I'll
And
let him know.
He puts his phone in the same pocket where you're in it, and
I'm the
squish.
buffest worm alive. I'm holding that freaking phone up in his pocket.
He forgets to take you out when he does the laundry, and you go into the washer.
It's fun. It's like being at a water park. Like those water parks that have the huge like bowl.
No.
Oh,
You'd
you know
be
what I'm talking about?
perpetually waterboarded in that pocket.
No, I'm a good swimmer. I'll swim to the top and I'll hang out. I'll float on my back and just let it be a spa day as my worm self. Wait for him in his pocket. And then once he takes out the laundry to put it in the dryer, I pop out. Rah! You left me.
No,
Get me
you'd be
outta
dried
here.
and shriveled up. You know the dried worms that's on the pavement on a sunny day? You'd be like that, like a little cracker.
Not me. I'm stronger than the others. I'm better than them. So I'm the special worm. Yeah, no, I don't know. It'd be hard. I told him I'd give him permission to move on if I were to turn into a worm.
You actually discussed that as a possibility? And not like getting struck by lightning, hit by a car?
I mean, what's there to discuss if I've been hit by a car? Bye-bye.
Preparation of a will?
I told him I want to be cremated. That's it.
You set him as your beneficiary on your 401k?
Well, if I'm a worm, he can't prove to anyone that there's that I'm gone.
Well, you file a missing persons report. And
But
after
you
a
don't
certain
get
amount of-
any life. You don't get any of their life insurance.
Really? I thought there's an amount of time where they're declared deceased.
You think so?
I would
But
think so,
they would
yeah.
still give them, because they have to, don't they normally have to prove that the death was like an accident?
But then, what if you were the beneficiary of someone and they just went missing? So you'll never get those funds unless
I
you
don't think
prove that
so.
person's actually dead?
Kevin, we're in America. Do you think they want to give you the funds? Are you kidding me? They're happier, if anything. They're like, dang. They pat you on the shoulder and they're like, all right, well, bye. Don't come talk to me until you have any
I don't
evidence.
know.
They're evil. So all three of your
like-
kids are now worms. But Oreo walks over to you and there's 3 little noodle looking things hanging out of his mouth. What do you do?
No, I know that he would never. No, he would never put that in his mouth. He didn't put anything in his mouth. Even if we leave food on the table, he doesn't come over eat the food on the table. He'll just sniff at it,
Wow.
but no, he's really good about that.
What a
So-
good dog.
But he does pounce on lizards and worms and bugs and stuff. Like he jumps on with his paws and he squishes them.
Ugh.
He might
That's
actually squish
gross.
the kids then. And he does that to lizards all the time, yeah. So they might turn into worms
Sure.
and he might pounce on them and that's the end right there. And
Aw,
I guess I
man.
can't do anything about it. Just have a little burial outside and a little tiny tombstone, I guess. I don't know.
Nice.
You're a pretty morbid scenario right here.
All right. It's been an hour. Should we end this episode?
Yeah. How do we? Yeah, that was a pretty wild topic.
You're too calm again today. What happened to you? We need to just pretend you're getting paid. Just pretend you're on the clock right now at your 9 to 5.
I think it's just a topic. I
Your
think you got to pick
boss-
some crazier topics.
Okay, sorry. Let me tell you about the time that Andrew's brother pooped himself in Carl's
Yes,
Jr.
I like poop stories. Poop stories are always the best. Yes.
He was
Uncalled
telling-
evacuations. Those are the
He
best.
was telling
Oh,
me
you got
more
poop stories of him?
Of Andrew's brother, not of Andrew.
Okay. Oh, he's got some incontinence issues as well.
So I was telling you about talking about that, but you said save it for next time. So I got
Yeah,
shut down.
We'll
Pull
have
up my
another-
little list.
Okay, so you want to make it extended family?
Yeah, I mean, you brought up your brother-in-law.
Did I? I can't remember. the
You
story
said
on
he
that.
pooped in a
Oh
shoebox.
yes. That's
How
right,
could
that's
you
right. I forgot
forget
about
that?
Yeah. No, I thought it was something else, but
You don't have any
yes,
stories
that's
of your
hilarious.
kids doing anything? Like pooping in class? Never gotten called for them doing anything crazy?
Pooping in a car, sitting down
In your car?
in the diaper. They were little, yeah,
Oh my god.
little, yeah. I mean, still wearing diapers, so
Luckily, my cats don't poop in my car.
because they
Parents
have
are
the diapers on.
strong. Y'all are never not working. You get home from work and then you have more stuff to do. You don't get to eat sleep for dinner. You have to make dinner.
I do.
You know, get in the
Okay.
car,
But
you're
you do-
tired, and you're like, all right, let's go on vacation. What's that smell? Turn around, boom, poop in the car.
Not anymore, but you still need to maintain your house too, right? You still got to cook and
Yeah, but like I said, if I'm tired and I don't want to feed myself, I can just have sleep for dinner.
yeah, we
I
can
mean-
still do that too. Yeah, we just eat out.
Wow, you hear that, everyone?
Just gotta
Kevin
order bigger.
starves his kids. Sleep for dinner.
That is true. You can sleep away hunger. That does work.
Sometimes it sucks though.
And starving the kids is just one way to make the dinners more tasty because hunger is the best seasoning.
That's so true. That's
Mm-hmm.
so true.
Get them to eat their
Everything
Brussels
tastes better.
sprouts.
They don't like Brussels sprouts?
No, they do. They do
Oh,
actually.
let's say that's one of the better vegetables. I
Actually,
don't like
they eat
carrots.
everything. Eggplant. Eggplant probably one of
What?
the
What
unanimous.
about Thai?
yeah,
Thai spiced eggplant is so good. Have they tried that?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I think it's the texture or something.
I don't like sweet
eggplant.
potato.
I like
It's too
eggplant.
sweet.
Oh, we all like sweet potatoes.
Really?
You ever tried the Japanese sweet potatoes?
The purple? Are they the purple ones?
Yeah, purple. Yeah, super good. Oh yeah, the
I've
purple
never
one.
tried that one.
Super
Does
good.
it taste like the orange one?
I think it tastes similar, sweet, but tastes like kind of like taro as well.
Oh.
Tastes better, I think. And no, more importantly, better texture. Not slimy.
Yeah, I don't like sweet.
Like
They're just too sweet and somehow healthier. That makes no sense.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah. But I do like it. Yeah.
All right. You
All
want to say
right.
goodbye to our people?
Yeah.
I'll
Thanks
let
for
you come up
listening.
with a topic that next time that you think is more exciting. You're too calm today. You know, I need party Kevin here. You don't dive off into many different topics. You're too tired or something.
But the topics were very strict. It was very
Never,
focused. It was
never
like,
strict.
what would you do for a living?
Yeah, I thought you would. I don't know what I thought you would say. Freaking.
That sounds so realistic. It was so confining. I don't know about that one.
No, I said no restrictions, no limitations, no money, nothing holding you back. You can do anything you want to do.
You gotta help guide me a little more, like
There's so
something
many
that
jobs.
is entertaining, or something in outer space, or something if you were an alien in the water, or something like that. Or if you could fly and you could do something
bad.
like that.
I will try harder next time. Jeez.
Or like, let's say that, what would you do if you had a new superpower, like you're invisible now, and then you could do any job you want, right? I
Oh,
don't know.
as a job?
Yeah.
I mean, I would rob a bank,
living.
but not as. Oh, yeah, I'd rob a bank.
How will you make a living? and
Rob
you could turn
banks. Are you
invisible?
kidding me? Rob people.
Yeah.
I'm a
You mean
villain
pickpocket
now.
people? Pickpocket that old woman in the wheelchair?
I don't need to pickpocket them. I could go straight into their house.
Go straight in the house while they're
Yeah.
still there. And creep them out, just like open and close the windows, and they
Just
get
to
all scared. Then you
prank
run
them?
out, and then you just go straight for the jewelry collection.
Yeah, slam the door over and over and over until they run out of the house,
Yeah,
freaked
but
out.
I can see you still messing up though. You like touch all the ink, you leave your fingerprints all over the walls and stuff. They trace you back.
How are they gonna find
Even
me?
though you leave your fingerprints all over their home.
What if I'm not on a lease or anything anywhere? I'm living at my
You mean
parents'
like
house.
in database? I mean,
Where are
maybe
they gonna
go
find? What are
swab
they
and
gonna find
to
me?
get your DNA. To get your
What
DNA.
if they come to find me to arrest me? Where are they gonna put the handcuffs? They can't find my hands. I'm
Oh,
running.
I mean, you're not perpetually invisible. You can only turn invisible. at
now
certain
you're
times,
putting
so-
these rules
There we
on
go.
me.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So, I mean, if you turn invisible forever, what's the point of being around?
That was
Nobody
deep.
can see you. You're basically a ghost.
But
if
I
you're
can. Why
permanently
can't I
invisible.
control when I'm invisible or not?
No, I'm just saying, like going back to your original question. If you
No, I can
said
control
you
when
were
I'm invisible. Well, this is,
okay,
I'm
like,
making
if you're
this.
perpetually invisible, you're basically
No. I can
You're a
make when I'm
ghost.
invisible. When they show up to my house, I'm like, I'm chilling, so I'm here. But then once I hear the sirens, boom, I turn myself invisible, and then I
feel like
escape.
If I give you the option to do that, you might mess up. Maybe you just make just your head invisible or something like that.
No, it's full body or nothing.
All right. Well, I gotta head out. So, all right. But enjoy.
Thank you for listening to ADD, Attention Deficit Discourse, and we will see you next time.
All right. Bye.
Bye.